Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Louise Perry from Louise Perry Bridal. I'm a bridal shop owner, and today the topic is, so you want to open a bridal shop, how do you go about doing it? It's something that a lot of people ask me. A lot of people say things like, oh, you must have the most wonderful job. How would I ever go about doing this? I wish I could do it. So for all of those people, if you've ever wondered about owning a bridal shop and what it's like and how you could go about doing it yourself, here's some tips for you. This is specifically about a bridal business, but actually there's a few tips in here which could apply to any business. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. Firstly, what is your inspiration? There obviously must be a reason behind why you want to own a bridal shop. The biggest thing is you need to have passion. So if you don't have passion, then it won't be able to take you through the hard times. So it's worth thinking about that, musing on how the reasons why you want to open the shop. For me personally, it was my own bridal experience. I felt like there wasn't enough shops out there that offered dresses in my size, dresses in a budget that I was particularly looking for, and also the customer service aspect that I particularly wanted. I felt like it wasn't too much to ask for all of those things, but it was very difficult to find all of those three things in the same place. So that is what inspired me. The other thing is once you've got your inspiration, once you've realised what your inspiration is behind opening your bridal business, you will then derive from that your USP, your unique selling point. There are tough times in running your business. For me in particular, it was the financial aspect and also the tiredness aspect. I kept on my day job while I set up the business and started running the business for the first 2 years. I did that because financially I just couldn't afford not to have a regular income coming in, but at the same time it meant that I was working all hours. I was only getting one, sometimes no days off a week. I rarely ever saw my husband, and it was really quite tough in the beginning, and that's part of the course, I think, for many businesses. So it's definitely worth thinking about that. Don't go into it blindly thinking everything's going to be hunky-dory, which I'm sure many people will not do, but there are going to be tough times, and I think it's the passion and the drive that you've got behind it all which carries you through those difficult times. Secondly, the thing to think about is, what is your USP? What is your unique selling point? This is a very businessy question, but it's a really, really important one. What is it that will set your business apart from another business, from the next bridal shop down the road? If you don't have a USP, you will not stand out from the crowd, and you do need to stand out from the crowd, because otherwise people won't come to you, they won't notice you. It is all very well to say, well, I'm going to do the same as what they're doing, except better, because then I'll do better than them. Well, yes, eventually probably that will happen, but initially nobody's going to know you, whereas the shop down the road, who's probably not doing the things as well as you are, everybody knows them, so they will continue to go to them. So you do need to really think about what sets you apart from others, and that is what you need to promote about yourself when you do your marketing. So the third aspect is, do your research. It's definitely worth, this is really, really important, it's definitely worth doing your research. So firstly, research your area, the area that you're going to have your shop. Take a look at how many other bridal shops are out there, what kind of an offering they have, take a look on their website, see what they do, and find out where the gap is, you know, what is missing from that area, what will people be looking for. Secondly, think about your target market. Who are the people that are going to be coming to your shop? Who are you going to be selling to? If you're in an area which isn't a particularly affluent area, then if you're going to be selling really high-end expensive designers, it might not work. Having said that, if your area is inundated with shops that are on the lower end of the budget, then maybe a shop with a higher end offering with more expensive dresses might be what the people in the area are looking for, because that isn't on offer. So it's definitely worth thinking about that, especially doing a profile of your target market as well. Who are they? Where do they go? What do they want to spend? What are their tastes? Are they modern? Are they traditional? What about their friends? What do their friends like? You know, where do they shop? Where do they visit? What do they do in their spare time? Have a think about all of these things, because that will then build a little profile of your target market, and it will shape your offering for them and also shape your marketing strategy. The next tip I've got is to think about the financials. Now, passion is so important. It will get you very, very far, but without the financial investment, it would be impossible to start a new business. So there is a significant investment that is required in starting a bridal business. You will need money to spend on stock, and that's going to be your biggest outlay. Then you need your shop premises, and then there'll be legal stuff as well that you'll need to account for. So you'll want to have a certain amount of money to invest, and then you'll also need a backup amount of money to kind of keep yourself going within the first few years when you're not making so much money. So it's worth really thinking about those financials and where this money's coming from. Now, you can apply for a loan from the bank, but a lot of banks are very, very strict on how and who they offer loans to. So you'd have to have a really good solid business plan if you wanted to get a loan from the bank, and really good solid cash flow forecast and profit and loss forecast if you want to get a loan from the bank. The other thing that banks like you to have is your own money to invest as well. So typically they would probably expect you to invest roughly the same amount as you would want to borrow from them. Also, it's worth thinking about the fact that you may not make any money within the first 3 years of the business running. So it's worth thinking about how will you cope if you don't have any regular income coming into your household. How will you cope with that? And indeed, if the business requires a further investment of money, where is that going to come from, and how are you going to do that? So these are all things that you need to think about in advance and build that into your business plan. Again, if you can evidence that you've thought of those things to a potential investor or a bank, then they are probably more likely to want to lend you money, because you're being very realistic about the possibilities. So my final tip for if you want to start your bridal shop is to have a good think about the long term. It's definitely not worth doing it unless you're looking to be in the business for at least 5 years. If it's something of a hobby or something that you think, I'd like to make a go of it, if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't really matter. That's all very well, but bear in mind it does take a really long time for things to get off the ground, because it takes time for people to get to know you, to get to know you're there. Also, in the bridal world, it will take a few years for the cycles to go around, and your customers will eventually get married, and then their friends will see how beautiful your customers looked, and they will come to you and start buying their own dresses from you, and then the cycle continues. But it does take a good few years for that to happen and for it to get off the ground. So it's worth thinking very long term in terms of running your own bridal business. Most businesses don't make money within the first 2 to 3 years unless you're really, really, really lucky and you have something that's really different. Usually it takes a bit longer than that. I have to say, running my own business, setting up a bridal shop has been one of the most fulfilling things I have ever done, and it has been fantastic. It's been really up and down in the first few years because there are so many challenges, particularly financially and the hard work, but it will pay off eventually if you stick at it. And once those early years are over, it is so worthwhile. It really is, and it opens up a whole world of possibilities within the bridal industry and also in the business industry as well. So it's definitely worth doing if you've got a passion for it. If you really want to do it, don't let anybody stop you. You go for it, and it will reward you immensely in the future. If you want to know more about this, then please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to hear more about specific detail about running a business, owning a bridal shop, the bridal industry as a whole, or anything else, then please do drop me a little message, drop me an email, leave a comment below, and I will address that for you, and I'll try and do a video to talk about that for you. So thank you very much for watching my video today. I hope you like it. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to hear more from me, please subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye.